Hey everyone, it's Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News. And I'm here with my good friend Daniel Rosenrauch of Viirtue. Daniel, thank you for joining me today.
As always, Doug, it's my pleasure.
So the headline is just a few days ago, really, Viirtue AI agents have been released. And yes, they are significantly different than all the other AI agents that we're hearing about. So Dan, before we dive into that, what is Viirtue?
Yeah, no, thanks, Doug. So Viirtue, we are a white label VoIP platform for service providers. Our secret sauce is we're a turnkey platform, and we automate a lot of the operational pieces of selling voice that are pretty complicated, stuff like tax automation, compliance, 477 filings, really all the nitty gritty boring stuff that most service providers have to dedicate like a week of their month in spreadsheets to figure out. Our platform does that stuff automatically right out of the box, all the way from quote to cash.
So what problems are you solving for MSPs and telecom resellers that most AI voice tools basically ignore?
Yeah, so what we've seen is like most of the providers are doing what they normally do, right? They're building a tool that's built to solve a problem for a business. Where there's that AI agent tool, it's good for a demo, maybe good to implement. But what we've seen is it's a lot of moving parts generally to deploy these. If you're partnering with some of the popular AI agent providers out there, groups like Synthflow, for example, you got to kind of bring a lot of your own pieces to the pie, and they skip a lot of the important parts that we in the voice community have known are really important from day one. Things like, again, like USF, billing for USF,
Right.
usage rating, again, the compliance pieces to it. There's really a lot in voice. It's a federally regulated industry. And that's some of the tooling that, we bring to the table, again, right out of the box for free for all of our partners, that we haven't quite seen out there. And I think that's why we're getting a lot of traction as of recent, a lot of whether it's new folks, that have a consulting business, some type of managed services business that are obviously looking to get into AI voice a little bit more, or existing service providers who have had voice as part of their portfolio for a long time that are now looking to level up. We're definitely seeing a ton of traction, I think, solely on that front, that they're looking for that piece.
So you talk on your website. You have quote to cash. So what
Mhm.
does quote to cash look like for AI voice agents?
Yeah, no, it's great. So it's the entire process. So like when you're deploying an AI voice agent or just a voice solution in general, there's multiple steps to it, and nobody wants to do that from 10 different systems. It's hard enough to figure that out on your own, let alone scale that with a team of 10, 20 employees. So it's every step of the process. So it's quoting for the service. Our system allows you to quote for it. It'll show and preview all the voice related taxes that you won't get from a normal quoting tool, because this just shows sales tax. And as you know, Doug, sales tax isn't the only tax that is
Lots of
applied.
taxes.
Yeah, I always joke it's almost like a CVS receipt. So you need that at the quoting piece. And then we enable you self-service under your own brand. You're able to provision all of these features. You're able to deploy them to your customers. Our platform allows you to tune the AI voice, as well as if you're deploying a full voice solution. We even have a tool in there that allows you to like review with AI. So if you don't like how the AI handled a call, you can just tell it what you didn't like about it, and it'll give you the suggestions of how to fix the prompt so that doesn't happen again and it works towards your liking. And then, of course, the most important piece at the end, being able to bill for those services, being able to bill for the usage related to those services, because there's generally overage associated with a lot of that. You need that automatically tracked, or your life is going to be spent in spreadsheets. And then, of course, the taxes, the compliance, all that stuff that has to be around the bill. You have to be able to, audit that and stand behind that if USAC ever comes a knocking. So I think that's where we do a really good job, is not just the middle piece, but all the way from the entire life cycle of quoting all the way to billing
Right.
these services.
So now, how do you handle provisioning and deployment at scale across many end user customers?
Great question. And it's kind of just by default, that's how our platform works. So it's multi-tenant. Our resellers are able to spin up accounts for new customers in seconds. It's really, really easy. So they're able to do that for all their customers. We have customers or I should say resellers, who have end customers that are one or two users, all the way up to large brand names that you and I are very well aware of. We might have on our desk, beverages or whatever it is. So we've seen deployments 5,000, 6,000 users. It's really up to the service provider, and I think that's what makes our program unique. Is our service providers can all find their specific fits, and especially with AI, one of the things that we see is lacking with the big brands is that they don't have the resources to sit there and tune these AIs with their end customers, and it really results in not a great user experience. I think that's why a lot of people are kind of scared off by the technology. But where our resellers can really come in and add their unique value is they can work with their customers, really understand their business, and spend that time tuning and making those AIs better to really serve their customers great. And I think that's why you'll see like our partners will have higher resolution percentages than those, just more like generic tooling out there that aren't able to spend that type of time with their customers.
So, Daniel, the C word compliance all year long, last year, 2025, biggest audience actually were always interested in this topic. So, how do you think about usage rating compliant billing for AI voice agents?
It's super important. I mean, I just kind of look at this back like when we got into the business, and it was kind of like we got into voice, it was taking off, and we didn't do it right from day one. We were using a platform that the same thing just built sales tax. And, this is all the way back in like 2012, 2013. And we quickly found out that that was not the way we had to do this. And the problem it caused for us is essentially a year of manual work of having to pull back those processes, find a system that was compliant, which was super expensive and was just a higher barrier to entry for a small to medium sized service provider. So that's the actual reason that we built Vibe. We wanted a tool for our resellers that was quick to onboard. Ours is self-service. Partners can be on in a couple of hours, including training and everything, depending on how quickly they want to get rolling. And again, that platform was purpose built to solve this around the voice problem, right? 12 or 13 years ago. So AI voice, for some reason, it seems like, again, some of the bigger players have kind of forgotten that piece all over again. And that's where, we're excited to be able to, customize our solution so it will solve this problem also for AI voice, just like it solved it for the UCaaS environment. And again, our partners will be compliant. They'll be operationally ready, ready to scale with automated processes from day one. They don't have to get into business, and then if they start to take off, that's the last thing you want to worry about if your business is growing is, oh man, I'm not doing this right and the government might be coming after me. You want, especially in a federally regulated industry, you want to be doing that stuff right from day one.
So, in the field, and the product's actually been in the field for a few days, and you did some alpha testing, son. What are the biggest compliance and trust considerations you see?
Yeah, so I mean, and there's a lot, and that's where you really need a partner who knows this space, who can give you advice, lead you in the right direction, hold workshops on the topic, all that stuff. But I mean, I think you've seen, Doug, like the FCC's already ruled on some of these things. So, for example, like AI voice, if you're making outbound calls, you have to have opt-in. It's got the same requirements as SMS. And those calls can be penalized thousands of dollars. So that's just like one example, and you can kind of keep going down the rabbit hole of things where if you're not doing this right from day one, you're really setting yourself up for an issue down the road. And if you ever want to, you grow the business and you're fortunate enough to be in a position to sell it, it almost becomes unsellable if you weren't compliant in building it the right way. So that's really like, again, probably the biggest problem that we solve there. And even we've talked to partners new to the field who are like, well, I'm de minimis. I only have 3 or 4 customers. That doesn't matter.
Right.
USAP doesn't care. You still have to file what's called a 477 report. Vibe generates that automatically. So you don't have to sit and figure that out. Again, even if you're de minimis, you're compliant, you're good to go. So yeah, it's really helping, especially the new partners to the space get going.
So that's really interesting. This implementation of AI agents and having the compliance built in turns out to be actually a business equity issue. It could kill the value of your business if done
Absolutely.
poorly.
Absolutely. And we've heard that story behind the scenes more than once where, a company was going to be acquired because they had great traction, somebody was going to buy them. And then
Yep.
all of a sudden that deal just ends because they realized that they hadn't been paying USF or they hadn't been filing, their 477s, or they hadn't listed themselves in robocall
Oops.
mitigation database. Oh yeah. So then it's like, what do you do there?
Yeah. And now the flip side is, what about companies that are in compliance and use this product?
Yeah. I mean,
Does it mean better equity, better outcomes?
it does. I think, if you are fortunate enough or your business grows enough where, someday when somebody wants to buy it from you, they will look at your business and say, all right, you're doing things the right way. It'll just help make that due diligence process so much smoother for you. Rather than saying, oh my gosh, I haven't been paying this $12,000 a year tax last 6 years. Now I have to pay this in one flat rate or else, this acquirer isn't even going to want to talk to me. So again, it really is nice when you're set up from day one. Helps you sleep much better at night, I can tell you from experience.
Well, I really want to thank you for joining me today and this brief overview of this big announcement. Where can people learn more about Viirtue AI voice agents?
Yeah, just right at our website. Just go to www.viirtue.com. Virtue is spelled with two I's, just like you see there on the screen. Yeah, check out our website. Happy to link up with you. People always message me on LinkedIn. I try and get back to everybody. Always happy to talk things, voice, AI, compliance, the fun stuff, right? Always. So yeah, just reach out to us right there on our website and we'd be happy to get in touch.
Yeah, that's really true. Little note there, Viirtue. There is AI voice agents, but Daniel actually will give you a call back in
I
person.
will,
Yeah.
of
All right.
course.
Love it. Okay. Thanks, Daniel, and thanks for joining me today. We're going to hear more about this later. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other at some of these coming events. But for now, thank you very much.
Thank you, Doug. Take care.